Magic City and the Atlanta Hawks are canceled. So the Atlanta Hawks' decision to host a Magic City Monday theme night has officially ignited a firestorm, resulting in swift cancellation by the NBA. I don't know if it was swift necessarily.
No, it wasn't swift at all.
And a fierce defense from the city's nightlife by rapper Killer Mike. And this was brought up by Luke Cornett, I believe, who plays for the Spurs now.
A bum.
Yeah, I would
the guy
know.
who jumps straight up like this.
I wouldn't know who Luke Cornett was until this happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I knew of him, but
I mean, you know why you know? Because he's on the game.
he is.
Yeah. That's how I know a lot of baseball players. I did until I started betting.
Well,
and you playing MLB The Show, I didn't know baseball players like that anymore.
I also knew him because he's the guy who was famous on the Celtics for jumping straight up with his hands. You know, he would like not be anywhere near, but he would like try to get in the vision of the basket and do that thing. So I don't know.
Verticality.
That sounds like some sucker shit.
Created by Roy Hibbert.
Oh, man.
Did he start? Was he the one that started doing that?
Yep.
Come on, Roy. Yeah.
Anyways, here's a video from Killer Mike talking about it a little bit, and then we'll ask some questions.
Magic City has been a black-owned business for over 30 years in my community. That community has given entertainers that happen to be dancers a place to entertain. Those women have went on to become business owners, moms, wives, and more. And the culture that Playboy started in the 50s lives in the Atlanta gentlemen's club scene, whether that's Magic City or the Blue Flame or Peaches. And if you don't understand Atlanta, just hush up and be quiet. If the city of Atlanta embraces that, and they've done a beautiful documentary, Jamie Gertz's company produced a beautiful documentary on Magic City, then we should be supporting our city and not just for chicken wings. We're never going to get rid of adult entertainment in Atlanta. That's why they call it adult entertainment. It is one of the things that has helped desegregate, resegregate, keep our community black owned, keep people who are in ownership positions. When you go to Vegas, the strip clubs aren't owned by people who look like the people who work there. When you go to Miami even, it's not that. So if you come to Atlanta and they say they like the girls in the chicken wings and the city doesn't have a problem with it, shut the up.
Yeah, I can dig it, but I can't.
Well,
Who wants to go?
so does Killer Mike successfully frame Magic City as a legitimate economic pillar for black entertainers, or does his rhetoric alienate the very audience the Hawks need to sustain a broad fan base?
I think it's messy.
Messy?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I understand what he's saying. Obviously, Magic City is a black establishment that is, you know what I'm saying, giving opportunity to a lot of young ladies to, you know what I'm saying, have a lucrative career before they actually start their careers. It's a place where artists come in town and they spend their money. But I disagree on that being the reason that there should be a Magic City night at an Atlanta Hawks game. You know what I'm saying? Because there's much more rich culture in Atlanta than the strip clubs. It's like you're basing it all on the strip club experience. I think everybody in here that's been to Atlanta possibly has been to an Atlanta strip club, and it's definitely an experience. You know what I'm saying? But that's not what I'm basing my experience of Atlanta on. You know what I'm saying? And then for an Atlanta Hawks game, which is an NBA team, for you to just insert adult entertainment into the NBA game. I mean, kids come to these games.
They weren't going to do that, though, man. It wasn't like they was about to have strippers dancing.
I mean, I understand that, but it's the same reason you don't have a Playboy night at the basketball game. It's not appropriate in my personal opinion, especially having a daughter. I don't think that's appropriate to associate a basketball game. What you do after the basketball game is different than what's going on at the basketball game. I can't see that being a reason why it's okay to have a Magic City night just because it wasn't going to be strippers there.
So they don't have a Playboy night at the game, but they for sure will parade Hugh Hefner. They would parade Hugh Hefner and put him on the screen at the game, and everybody knows what Hugh Hefner is famous for.
All right, so they should do the same thing with the owner of Magic City, I guess.
I mean, they're not going to do
everybody
that.
knows who Hugh Hefner is.
Like,
so
I think this was specific to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I think if you're the owner of a franchise, you should be able to run the franchise however you see fit. You know what I mean? And as long as it does not diminish the product. I don't think what they were doing was diminishing the product. Nobody was going to those games, no way, because the Hawks been ass this year. You know what I mean? So if that's what they needed to do to drive people there, You know what I mean? And all you was coming to get was some chicken, you know what I mean, and celebrate, and some merch. Because it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't like they was having people dance on the stage. Or they weren't having dancers. And hell, you got cheerleaders walking around like dancers anyway.
It's true.
Yeah.
So like, what's the difference?
I don't know, man.
They be wearing a little risque.
Yeah.
No, I this is the thing. I, in a way, can say, okay, we're celebrating the culture of Atlanta, which includes, for some people, because everybody is not strip club people, Magic City. Then I thought maybe this is something we celebrate the culture of Atlanta. Maybe Magic City should be a footnote, you know. But at the same time, the NBA wants to sell itself as family entertainment. The way they're able to make their money is if mom, dad, couple kids, they show up and buy 4 seats, buy the hot dogs, get chicken wings, nachos, and maybe buy a jersey and a hat. You know, and so while I kind of get it as far as embracing the culture of Atlanta, I do see why this is not a good idea, you know. But at the same time, this is where, you know, because, you know, there's always the thing was like, oh, you know, strip clubs, and there's always the ties to the underworld, and this, even though it's not that now. But at the same time, just like every other place in America that has a professional sports team, I have to look at about 15 gambling ads.
I was about to say the league has tied themselves to the underworld by allowing gambling.
You know,
That's
and so like
what I was going to say.
And quite honestly, if I had children, I'd be much more concerned. Not that I say I wouldn't be concerned with the idea of Magic City and having to have that conversation, but I'd be much more concerned with the fact that like it makes it seem like, oh, all you got to do is put in this much money and then you get all this free. Like there's so many things that are pushed on you as far as gambling products, you know, at these games that I honestly think it is. And this is coming just for transparency. This is coming from somebody that might drop $25-$30 a month in the FanDuel. And the reason I do that is because I don't win. You know what I'm saying? Because the business model is not built for you to win. You know, so I do have some issues with that if we're going to talk about overall the things that, you know, sports teams attach themselves to, but also all of the teams have attached themselves to
gambling.
The gambling.
I think
to do one team. If they were going to try to pull this off, they would have had to try to say, okay, every NBA team basically pull in, you know, your local gentleman's club, if you will, and, you know, make this a part of your marketing. Because, you know, for one team to do it, like it's almost a situation like you are in a club and you can't go rogue within the club a lot of times. And I think that's as much a part of this than people being outraged. I don't think anybody in Atlanta is actually like, oh, I can't have this. I think it's about one ownership group going a little bit rogue, you know, against the rest of the fraternity of
kind of like how the Cowboys
ownership.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand
NBA ownership. Yes,
I can understand that, but in the same token, I feel like, I don't know, it's just weird. I actually like Magic City, but I don't associate an NBA team. This is like one of those things that you never would expect to happen. And it kind of goes into what's going on with the country right now. And to a point now where we got to attach a strip club to an NBA game to get people to come out and enjoy it. And we're having conversations about why it's right and wrong.
Yeah, I just don't really think it's that big of a deal. I think that's my biggest thing. Like, I feel like there are bigger issues than an advertiser for a night to try to get people to come to games. To Byron's point, nobody's out there like shaking ass and
the cheerleaders.
Outside of the cheerleaders that are employed by the
Somebody
NBA.
gonna shake some ass at that game.
That's what I mean. But like, nobody's stripping. You know what I mean? And there's far worse things that the NBA is associated with, which you guys brought up. Gambling is far more problematic than a promotion of a strip club that, if any of these kids see, then the parents will have to say, well, the strip club where they go to take their clothes off. Well, they still can't go to them. You know, it's not like, then it's an educational moment is the way that I look at it. It's like, they're going to learn sometime. At least you're learning from your parents or something like that. Like, I don't know. I don't really see that, you know, it is, part of me is, you know, when we talk about locality and things of that nature, you know, sure, to Terry's point, I maybe from the outside looking in, if you see a Magic City night, maybe it does paint Atlanta more so like something more than you would want it to, you know? But
or less than what it actually is, in my personal opinion.
At the same time, like, I do feel like there should be, you know, some autonomy from the local nature, the communities that are around it, of, you know, that wants to get invested in the things happening. I like it when local stuff happens here. I'm okay if a Brass Flamingo or Brad's or whatever the hell it's called, like if they want to sponsor.
Don't act like you don't know it's Brad's.
Is it Brad's? I don't know.
No, I know you don't know.
But at the same time,
I do.
But if that's the case, like, is it a little tacky? Yeah.
It's very tacky.
You know,
not a little tacky. It's tacky.
You know, but at the same time, like, if that's what they want to do, and if numbers are that bad at the arena that they feel like they, and I don't know, have they done this in the past, or is this the first time?
It would have been the first time.
So, I mean, I don't know. It's just like, I feel like, yeah, it's like, why would you do that? Maybe it's a little tacky, but to me, that's kind of where it stops. I don't know.
Well, you know, to be fair, Magic City is not a strip club. It's a gentleman's club. Okay.
Cool.
It's
where people go and strip.
No. It's where gentlemen go to congregate.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Oh, word?
Yes. Where gentlemen go to converse over a nice meal, and you just so happen to see a woman who chooses to, you know, remove some of her garments for exchange for currency. You know?
Now that you phrase
really
it like that,
yeah.
I think we should go ahead and go with it. Nah. I mean, shit. It's a strip club, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like there's so many other things on fire. Like, this is one of those things.
It is,
it's
but
like,
it's just like, optically, man, this, to me, in all honesty, it's just distasteful to me, man. I understand it has something to do with, you know, saying the community and the culture as far as when you go to Atlanta and things that you do, but, man, it's distasteful. I mean, everybody don't got to gamble. I mean, you take the kids to the kiddie casino when you go to Chuck E. Cheese. You know what I'm saying? So they've been seeing gambling their whole life, but they don't got no money to gamble with.
Yeah, but the gambling is statistically far more
it is
consequential to society than...
This is all just for conversation's sake.
Well, let me ask this question. How does a professional sports franchise balance the authenticity of a city's unique cultural landmarks with the corporate requirements of a global family-oriented brand? That's kind of like what you're talking about a little bit.
Well,
so how do they balance that?
This is the thing. You have a choice to come on this night or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm just presenting this night for me and my team. This is a chance for you to come and celebrate the culture here in Atlanta on this night. There are 31 more opportunities for you to come to a game. This night in particular, we are celebrating this local business. You decide not to come here on this night because we're doing that, that's fine. But this is what me and my business are choosing to do. And for you guys to come in as big brother to tell me, no, I can't do that. And not only that, the community is supporting this. You know what I mean? And you as an outsider come in and tell me that I can't do that, that's kind of bogus to me.
Yeah, I can dig that.
Yeah.
I mean, this is part of the thing as far as the corporate entity of the NBA. Just like how the Cowboys were selling slots for people to advertise and going the opposite direction of other teams. Other teams didn't like that.
Groundbreaking.
It was a groundbreaking situation
and
where
everybody
they were being
does
fined.
it.
Right, everybody does it. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe if it was a different business, I would be okay with it. Ain't that I'm totally against it either, but it's just that, I don't know. It just seems like I'm not arguing a point to have a stripper or a strip club
be the sponsor.
Be the sponsor.
Or the
of
focus of the night. They're not even the sponsor.
Yeah, the focus of the night. That shit's just weird to me, man. I don't even know how we got here to where that's even an option.
No, I think, first of all, like you said earlier, people are not engaged in the Atlanta Hawks. My sister lives in Atlanta. Don't nobody care about the Hawks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so they've got to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And on a national level, you know, the one kind of star they have, they traded to the Washington Wizards because they must hate him, because that's the only reason you trade somebody to the Washington Wizards. So the only person we knew was Trae Young. I don't know who plays for the
Jalen Johnson, I think, right?
Yep, Jalen Johnson. He's a budding superstar.
Yeah, he's gonna be good.
You know, but there are people.
And now they have Kuminga.
Yep.
Okay, that's right. They did get him. But you know, like honestly, anybody on the Atlanta Hawks don't lead Sports Center or First Take. Don't nobody care. And honestly, that is because even with the Pacers not being good this season, I still, will still check in on them. Like people in Atlanta they have other things. Sometimes they don't support their teams when they're good. The Atlanta is just a different, is almost like, I say it's not a real place, but I know it's a real place, but still.
Just so much more going on there. Like I said, you can go to the strip club after the game. You know what I'm saying? I mean.
Yeah, so I think this was a misguided thing for the Atlanta Hawks to do. But at the same time, we're talking about the Atlanta Hawks on this show, and we wouldn't have talked about the Atlanta Hawks for any other reason.
No, absolutely not.
Positive or negative. And I think that's what it is nationally. And maybe, as much as a fan of Killer Mike's music as I am, there's so many other things about Atlanta that they could have centered this around to celebrate the culture of the city. I think
maybe they have though.
They have because
they play every day, every year on MLK.
Yeah,
Day.
and they have the MLK special jerseys.
This is just giving the gentlemen some and the ladies.
Yeah, I guess. But
all right,
but
entrepreneurs. Everybody in there is an entrepreneur.
But and maybe it's because we're just very much more the Bible Belt, if you will, right here in Indianapolis. But damn well that there'd be an uproar if they tried to have a Brad's Gold Club night for the Pacers.
Yeah, that would never happen.
Blue and
this
gold
ain't
and
Atlanta,
gold and Brad's Gold
that would
Club.
never happen.
And the primary people that would be upset are the people that look like Luke Cornett.
Yeah,
It would. Yeah.
That don't live in Indianapolis.
Well, I can't say that is true.
I can.
The only reason I can't say that is because, well, never mind. You know what I mean? Because the Magic
You might as
City,
well say it. We've already been on one tonight.
Yeah, but Magic City is Magic City. We all know the clientele that goes to Brad's. You know what I mean? So it would be a completely different.
Okay, then what if it was the other spot that's over there by Long
Sunset? Now, if it was Sunset, it would be a bitch. They would pitch a bitch in there.
Well, okay. I guess we're kind of split on that one, but I think we all agree that okay.
Look, anything that you cannot try to incorporate into the video game, just don't do that.
But
I mean, you
there.
go to the strip club on Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah,
that's Grand Theft Auto.
You're not supposed to be young, and it has a restriction on the game.
Yeah,
but we know how many parents are still buying this game for their kids.
Mm-hmm.
And even as DJs, we know we do some kids parties.
Yep.
Where you have the conversation with them, like what is inappropriate for your kids to listen to. And I've had the conversation where it'd be like, I'll edit it. And I've had the same conversations where they be like, oh, they're going to listen to it anyway. I don't care. So, I mean, it's just, it depends.
School regulated.
Yeah.
High school proms where they allow me to play Sexy Red.
But does it have to be a clean version?
Look,
but
man.
they're cussing. The kids are cussing.
Oh yeah, they say
it every day. Yeah, so it don't even matter if I'm playing the clean version or not.
Because you know what, back in our day, if you listen to the radio and say you didn't go out and buy the tape or the CD, you might not even know the real version.
Yeah,
so you would only know what was played on the radio or on your video countdowns. Like now, there's no way to hide anything from your children. I mean, a lot of rappers don't even put out clean versions of their albums anymore.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna make that argument, these kids out here watching.
Yeah,
I mean, it's right at their fingertips now.
Yeah, it used to be you had to have like a hookup or a cool uncle or somebody in your.
What I say
now,
the record store was right next door to the Dirty Magazine place in my neighborhood. So somebody had to be bold enough to go in there and steal a magazine. Now you got to do it. Just Google it. Yeah, because you can't buy it.
Well,
they ain't gonna sell it to you.
I mean, the kids I know how to get around parental controls. Yeah. They know all this stuff.
Or they could just have Twitter, which is the nastiest place on the internet.
Yeah, X is nasty.
Or X.
Not saying that this is an argument for, but saying,
I mean, there's a lot of things that we can be upset about, but tactfully speaking, strip club night at the Atlanta Hawks game probably actually gonna be a good time. I ain't gonna sit there in front like it wouldn't be. But in the same token, this is deemed as family entertainment. I'm not thinking about taking my family to the strip club.
Hey, titties are for everybody.
But that is a word right there. That they feed nations.
How much they charging for these wings though? Like if they gonna have I mean, I know I've been to,
Probably too much. If
Here's
it's at
an
a basketball
idea.
game.
Here's an idea that I'm totally with. If they could somehow have a national competition of strip club chicken wings, where all the best strip club chicken wings from the areas come together and have a cook-off, and it might be some adult entertainment associated with that too. So you have to be 18 plus to get in, maybe 21 plus to get in certain areas.
if you go
But
drink.
I would be good with that.
I don't know.
Yeah. There's a lot of nice strip club wings around here.
I think I feel like I think that we can move on. I
See
think
glitter on your wings.
I think the biggest problem that I really have with it is kind of also like this idea around like, I mean, we're calling it uncouth. We're calling it, all these things, but it's like
A lack of decorum is.
yeah,
yes.
we're making it seem like these people and these establishments in general, the people are less than.
I'm
but-
not even seeing it like that.
I'm not saying you are. I'm saying that's what the conversation is framed around. It's just
They're on the fringes of society,
the
and they shouldn't be
degenerates,
highlighted.
of that nature. And I don't. That's I kind of an issue with that too.
Yeah, I have an issue with that because
You can't come to celebrate this strip club, but you can come and bet your house and lose your whole family.
yeah.
Yeah. No, for sure, for real.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
Let's move on.
Yeah.